The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello everyone, this is Christina and welcome to our Scientific Forex Live webinar. I'm happy to see you all here. Before moving on, please tell me if you can hear me. You can type it into the chat box on the webinar control panel. It is found at the right corner of your screen. Also, if you would like to ask a question, you can also type it into the chat box. This session is being recorded and will be posted in the members area for you. Also, please remember, our team is standing by if you need any help. Go to the support section in the members area and call us, send us an email, or use Skype or the live chat. First, let me to give some thanks to Edwin. Edwin, thank you for your words. I hope that you will enjoy the system. And also our webinar, and I understand that in some parts of the world it's very late. Usual, our webinar should be 1 hour. I hope that I will finish the problems I want to cover in 1 hour, but if we need to stay a little bit more, we will stay. I hope that you will be here with me till the end. Okay. I know that those webinars about fundamental analysis are boring. I know that the last webinar maybe was not the most interesting, didn't touch the most interesting subject in trading. Fundamental analysis was the first things that was done in financial market, and also for the person that are trading stock market. I am strongly recommended to learn more about fundamental analysis. But for Forex, is working very well for small time frames, the technical analysis. So I will don't keep you forever with those subjects with a lot of financial indicators or economic indicators. I will just talk about them, and I will show you how to check them and how to protect when there are the releases. So let's start to talk about more fundamental analysis. When we talk about fundamental analysis, we talk about risk. And in the last webinar, I numbered several types of risk that we are facing in financial market. Also we talk about risk, and we talk about how to quantify the risk. And for that, we are using different types of indicators. There are specific calculations for those types of risk, and all those results are put into one scoreboard for the financial product that one financial company is giving for the market, is offering to the market. as traders in retail, we just have to know what types of indicators they are looking for and what are the influences of those indicators. So as we talked in the previous webinar, we have different types of risk. Now we will talk about indicators that can help us measure those risks. So for this, we can make one classification of indicators, and we have 4 specific types of indicators. We have financial indicators, economic indicators, political factors, and natural or ecological catastrophes. For financial indicators, we can, for companies, we have to look to the indicators like profitability, solvency, liquidity, stability. But traders for Forex will look to the rate of the interest. We can, if we want to make some tables with evolution of the rate of the interest, we can go to the sites of central banks. And here you have some the sites and of some of the central banks, the most important, the central banks that are controlling the majors that we have in the market. So we have ECB, European Central Bank. Here you have the site, but if you type into Google, you will find immediately the site. We have Federal Reserve, or Fed, Bank of Japan, Bank of England, Switzerland National Bank. Also, there are Bank of Australia, and actually each country have his own central bank where you can find a lot of information. The principal one is related to the rate of the interest, but also you can check different things like rate of the exchange, the norms and the laws that are guiding the central banks. Also, you can find the monetary mass, M1 and M2, the money that are in the circulation, on that currency that they are issuing, and a lot of other interesting things about the currencies. Also, we have to mention the Bank of International Settlement, which one is the bank that is ensuring the changes between the currency of those central banks. So the most important financial indicator is the rate of interest. If the rate of interest is decreasing, then the credits will be cheaper, and it is a chance of the inflation to increase. The mechanism is very simple. As long as the company and the individuals can take more credits from, can take more money from the bank or from the financial institution, they will be able to increase the consume, and sorry, there are some strange noises in the if the rate of interest is decreasing, then the credits will be cheaper and it is a chance of the inflation to increase. The increase of rate of interest have a good influence on the currency. It is one important quest for every central bank or government to keep a balance between the inflation and the rate of interest. The ideal situation is to have a rate of interest bigger than inflation. Also, the inflation have the rate of interest and the inflation have one big influence for those other parts of the economic, and we will see also correlation between financial indicators and economic indicators. So, what are economic indicators? Some of them you can see on this slide, and those that the traders are looking are GDP. That means this is the formula, and the translation in normal words is consumption plus investments, all the investments that are coming in the country, the government expenses, and the trade balance. That trade balance is the difference between exports and imports that are made into that country. One other indicator is unemployment. Unemployment, if unemployment is increasing, that means that the economy of that country is going in the down direction, and it means that in the first equation we have less investment, so also the consumption will decrease, and also the government expenses cannot be covered. So from a part of the work of that country have because the governments look to make debts to cover those expenses, part of the money that are going to the budget of that state, instead to be used for social protection or for different type of investment in infrastructure and so on, will go into the different type of interest. One other indicator that we have to look out is profitability of the capital. Actually, the profitability of the capital is related to the taxes that are into one country. So there are different types of calculation, and we have one rapport that is making between the capital that is invested and at the beginning of the year. So we have one the year to year. So in the countries where the profitability of the capital is very low, the investor will look about the safety of the investments and to some other things, but sometimes it's not so important to have a safe place to work. It's more important to have low taxes and more flexibility in the for the operation of the economy. So if you have a better profitability of the capital into one country, that currency will become stronger. One other indicator that is very popular between traders is CPI, or Consumer Price Indices. This indicator is measuring the inflation, and if it is growing, this CPI, so the currency will be weaker, because it means that you need more money to buy the same product or service or whatever in that place. CPI is something also like consumer price indices, but is related to the industrial prices. So it's related just for the factory and for the products that are like raw materials or like finished products from the factories. One other indices is consumer confidence. Actually, when this in statistical, there are several types of indices that are computed to give that consumer confidence. But actually, this means that if into one country the consumers trust in the economy, that means they trust that they will be employed for a long period. They trust in the government, that the government will don't make new laws that will make big changes, and so on. They will go to achieve more products, maybe a small one, but also they will go in contracts for the long-term purchase of the products, like houses or cars, products that they have to, probably most of them, have to pay for several years to become owners. So if the population is have more confidence in the economy, these indices will give us the idea that the economy is okay, and is increasing, and that currency will be stronger. Non-farm payrolls, probably also you have, you meet till now different system to trade those releases, and one of the most popular indices that are traded is non-farm payrolls. That means new working place in non-farm fields. So if the economy is okay, also non-farm payrolls will give us one good result. One of the indicators, one other indicator that is that traders are looking for is housing construction. Why they are? This is something new. This is something relative new, but this is related to the contracts that the population want to be involved. If they want to achieve one product, one long-term, if they want to go into one long-term contract, it means that in that country will be the field of construction developed, will be more jobs in construction, and also in institutions that are financing the housing and so on. It is there are a lot of fields of economy that are related with these indices, and if it is a good one, if we have more houses from one period to another, it means that the economy will become stronger in this field. Also, the construction indices and the prices of construction from period to period is one important part from CPI. CPI is one combination of the variation of the prices in different economic fields. Okay, so I think that this will be enough for our discussion. I will show you how you can look for those indicators. Usual, we have this site that is Forex Factory, and on this site we have it is forexfactory.com, and here we have a lot of information about those indices. Also, we have information about the political factors, about different political statements, and also we have information about natural or ecological catastrophe that appear when and also we have a lot of financial information regarding those things. So what is about this site? We have probably most of you will use it, and you can change here the hour according with your time zone, and you will have at here in the calendar the hour when a news appear. So according to my time zone at 15:30, we have one release from United States regarding unemployment claims. As you see, we have different newses on different color. This is the importance of the news. The red one are the most important, and the orange are have less influence in the market. The yellow one have a small influence in the market. As you can see, this is the consumer confidence in Europe. We have a low value, so should have one. So we should see some decrease on the charts on euro dollar when that release was when they made that release. And here you can have some details about the news that we are looking for. It's not necessary to know all those things that I told you before. I will be very happy if you can make the correlation between those things. But anyway, you can find details here. On this column, you can find details. So, if we click on that window, it will be open one window where we have the source who is releasing that news, what is measuring that indicator, what is the effect of that indicator, frequency, how many times per week, per month, whatever, the next release, and maybe some more important things you can find here. If you want the history, you can just click here and you can have for a longer period the history of that release. You also can check it onto the into the charts, because this release is made at the same hour every time. So it is released weekly and is released at 15:30 my area time. I think that is about 12:30 GMT. Here we have three values for the releases. We have the previous value, we have the anticipation, the forecast, and when it is made the releases, we have that last value. That is actually after that they collect all the numbers for this. On the last field here, we can open the chart. So we can have that value in one period of time that we are looking for. So we can have it for 6 months. Here we can have for 1 year. We also can see what are the revision. Most of those releases have, after a short period of time, sometimes 1 or 2 days for those ones that are on released on weekly base. Have some revision. But actually, when the releases appear into the market, you will see the changes on the market. If there are very big difference between the forecast and the actual value that is released, we will have violent moves. If the difference are not so big, will be not so many variations. We have a few questions. The Forex, Michael asked me, the Forex Factory site is great, but it will not automatically display the results when the time passes. Is there a way to get the results without having to log out and log back in again? There are different companies that are giving in a very short time all those releases. There are a lot of brokers that give you into the platform the releases or the news, like we have here, or something like this. I don't know if you are looking for a different site or a different way. Actually, I think that this is what I'm using. But if you are looking for a company to give you the releases in a very short time, but this means maybe 1 or 2 minutes earlier, not so not a big difference. Maybe it will cost you about 5,000 per month or so. It's depending what type of trading you intend to do. Ron, the color for impact means how strong is the influence of the news in the market. We also have here the white color, less important news. And also you can choose just part of the currency, not all of them. Maybe you are not trading all of them, so you will choose probably the news that you are for the pair that you are looking. So if we apply the filter here, let's say I put also the CAD, I put also the news that are not non-economic. So for today we don't have anything from related to CAD. Here we have a lot of news. If here we have the releases, here we have the news, and you can check this site from time to time, and you can find a lot of points of view regarding the market, especially the Forex market. For the person that are trading basis on big time frames, they can look for the news for all week and just note down the period when they have the most important news. Here we have also the card. So you can see all the news that was this week, and also what news we have for tomorrow. So we have Germany for business climate. This is related to consumer confidence. Retail sales in Great Britain, if you want to see who is making these releases. So is their National Institute for Statistics, Office for National Statistics, is related to retail. Also here you can see more data related to the evolution of these indices. If you want to look to follow in time what it was, or just open the chart. Edwin, do you mean only trade red impact news? Can we trade orange? Actually, I was for the person that are new in trading, I'm recommended that to stay away from trades from the market when there are those types of news with big impact. If you are trading based on daily and 4-hour chart, is okay, because those influences means about in most of the situation around 100 pips for the major pairs. For the person that are trading smaller time frames like 1 hour and smaller, can make a big difference if their account will be with the more 100 pips, with 100 pips in profit or 100 pips in losses. So for the new person, it's better that don't know how to deal with the news. It's better to stay out from the market when those news are released. Actually, the impact of those news on the red one, if there are not, if here between the forecast and the actual value we have a very big difference, probably the chart will be completely modified. But otherwise, the news, the variation is about 100 pips, something like this. And after 1 hour or so, the pair is coming on its normal way. So the impact of the news is for about 1 or 2 hours, something like this, if the changes are not very, very big. So Edwin, I mean that if you are new in trading, stay away from the market when we have read those types of red news. Okay, so something like this are the things that we have to know about fundamental analysis. Actually, is the impact of the news and the change of the indicators, and as you can see, we have all types of news about the treasuries. Today, Spain have to roll over the debt, and it was one news related what they if that auction have success, but was not very good, because they have to pay a bigger interest for the money that they have to loan. Also, after that news, as you can see, we have different articles where you can find more information. Okay. Now, I will yesterday at 11:30 on Pound, we have one releases from the Bank of England related to the interest and with the financial political of Bank of England. So let's see what they said. So here you can read the last minutes of the last releases of the Bank of England. So you can find a lot of things regarding the financial market. What are the conditions that are into financial market in England? You can find different statements related to the banks that are very strong connected with Bank of England. You have also one point of view from their side related to the international economy. And things like this. They said they will also look for the fund that is constituted in Europe for stability mechanism related to sustain the financial market. So those are the news. Those are the things that you can find there. And related to the things that you can find into those statements of central banks, you will gonna see the reaction into the market. So we had that release 11:30 my time on my time zone. So let's see on the chart what was the impact of that news. Just a second. So we have that news on 11:30, somewhere in this area, yes? Okay. So in the moment of the release, maybe half an hour, the market started to react, and everyone was expecting good news. And in the moment of the release, the pound became stronger, and the movement into the market was about 52 pips. So something like this is one movement at the time of the releases. Actually, it was combined with the repatriation of the currency from the outside, especially from the Asian market, because everyone is expecting that Europe will gonna have big problem with the rollover of the sovereign debt. So because they are a little bit afraid of the impact of not finding investor in their treasury bonds, everyone bring back the capital into the origin country. So those things that we saw into the market are related with the repatriation of the capital. I thought that as it was on, I will clean the chart, and I'm sorry for that. So I just thought that in that period we have one flat market, and I was waiting to see what is happening with those debts. And I thought that after the situation in Europe will be clear, we will see in what is the direction that the market will take. So actually, I was quite sure that the pair will make will make more swings in between of those levels. Actually, that one is one important level, is about 1.6. And the other one is one important level, that one is one important level of Fibonacci on the first high that was here. Is the 50 level on daily. 50 level is one level that where the pound reverse in most of the time is something like, for euro we have the 70.7, and I thought that the pair in this period, when we don't have clear things for what is happening in Europe, we will have one swing in between those levels. But when we had that news somewhere in that area, the pair start to, on the gossip, start to go up. This is 10 o'clock. And after that, in this area, when everyone was waiting the news, the pair start to go into the upside direction. So actually something like this is happening. What we have on smaller time frames, for 5 minutes time frame. Here, that was the move on the news. That one. So actually here it was the gossip about 30 pips, and in that period, about 62 pips, we had the releases and the influence of, and its influence into the market. As long as the Bank of England said that they will sustain the economy and they will make more facility for the company and for the business, the pound start to be stronger. Combined with the fact that everyone is bringing more money in the mother branch of the financial institution, we saw that increase into the market, that one that we have for the in the last period. Still, I am still I am not so sure that the pound will go into the upside. First, because we have a previous high here. So now I'm talking from the technical point of view. And here on 4-hour chart, we are close to have one signal for sell. So we have a lot of possibility that the pair will come back into that initial channel that we have before, that we set before. Sorry, that one. And actually, if you will look for different articles, you will see that the opinions are split. Actually, I think that the governments we're going to face difficult times to roll over the debts in Europe. So this will mean that it will be very difficult to keep the euro strong. So I think that euro will face soon a downtrend, and also will be followed by the currencies that are related with, like pound or like Swiss franc and so on. Then will you come out with a trade copier system to copy your trades? Actually, I was not thinking to do something like this. All the time I prefer to teach the person and to let them to take their own decision. It's something like one philosophy of life. It's nothing else. Also, he said to me that he don't understand how the news affect the pair, so automation would be a way for you to translate news events. And so, actually, the news, I don't know any robot that is trading the news. I know that are some companies that are trading, especially the news, and also there are some systems, some manual systems that are trading the news. Otherwise, Tudor made some expert advisor that is helping the new person to be aware related to the signals that we have from the market. So in that indicator CCFX, you have is a good indicator for crossover RSI from oscillator from signals that are coming from technical indicators that are used into that system. Related to the fundamental analysis and related to the news, I think that is important to understand what is happening in the market. It's not necessary to trade the news, or maybe you will do that later, but with this system you will be protected if you are on big time frames, like you are looking for entries on 4-hour charts. So those types of news will not make many difference for you. And if you are on small time frames, like smaller than 1 hour, you have to put the base into the money management with and to put stop loss and take profit, and also to take care to protect the profits that you already made into the market. So actually I think that was something more informative webinars, those one related to the fundamentals, because when I'm telling you to stay out from the period when we have releases, I want to explain myself why I'm asking you things like this or so. Philip, I have a new trading expert advisor. It's called Straddle Trader. I don't know all those expert advisors. Michael, I'm still having a small problem with the histogram on the MACD when the bars are very small, above or below the zero line. Do you stay away from trades, Michael? Actually, if I am into one trade that is based on the analysis on daily, I probably I will have no problem if the bars are very small. So here we have that histogram that is very clear on 4 hour, and as you can see, the bars of the histogram become smaller and smaller, and the RSI 5 is coming closer to RSI 14. The same situation was yesterday here, when I thought that the pair we're gonna test this area 1.6000, but actually at the news the pair went into the up direction, and also I thought that it will retrace immediately after just one test and go down. As you can see here on 4 hour, the pair was prepared to give us one cell signal on 4 hours. But also today the pair was testing the previous high, but it was no bar that was closed. So over that shadow, I will go on smaller time frames, over that level, over that resistance, we have just shadows of the candles. The body of the candles was under that level. So so I have one more. Here was the high. So here you can see that those candles have just the shadow. So just the emotion to was just because of the emotion, the price went a little bit upper to that previous level. So the pound have a lot of difficulty to go into the upper direction. If we are going on smaller time frames in the same period, I will make it into one dark color, we will see that we have very small bars on oscillator here, and was not clear. We have signals for buy and sell from the crossover SI, but on that oscillator we have not clear signal. So I think that if you are trading 1 hour and smaller time frames, 5 minutes, 15 minutes, on smaller time frames, we have, I was remembering into one time frame like this that we have very small candles. So that was the area. But we have a lot of signals for buy and sell, and I think that you also can take a few of the swings that was into the pair. Then last candle is close to a shooting star indicating downtrend. One on which time frame? As I remember, was into. I saw also one. No, it was here. I know that I was looking how is formed one shooting star or so. Edwin, do you enter trade near peak of a candle or wait for confirmation it is candle close? I am looking at the crossover SI. If I have, if I'm going for a few hours to trade, I will go for signals. I will have 1 hour chart and 5 minutes chart, and I will go for signals that I have onto 5 minutes chart. So in that period, it was a lot of signals. Here, it was a signal for sell. And also have the signal from MACD. And here we have the signal for buy and signal also from MACD. So it was one trade, something like this, about 50 pips. A little bit later, it was the signal for buy. Yeah. And also earlier from MACD, we have here first signal for buy, confirmation from MACD. One of those signals for buy was a good signal. And again, I don't know, about 50 pips or so. Ulrich, do you enter trades on 1 hour basis after 7 p.m. GMT? No, actually I prefer to go in the morning. I mean about 6 GMT, something like this. So GMT plus 1 hour later. It's European session, and I prefer to go into the trades in that period. And I don't stay late than after, just a second, I have to make the calculation for the time zone. 14, 2 p.m. to 14 in the afternoon, GMT, 14 GMT is when is the opening of the New York market. Maybe it's okay for trading for 1 or 2 hours. This is my opinion, actually. If you are looking for trades on 4 hour, if you are making the analysis on daily basis and you are looking for entries on 4 hour, really don't matter what is the time when you are making, you are going into the trade. It's important to go with the signal. Edwin, no, I don't. I don't. He asked me, do you mean we glue to screen for 5 minutes? Can set up the. Of course, you can set up the stop loss and the take profit based on money management. But also, I think for the person that are working in IT or things like this, it's okay to stay to the computer and actually to check from time to time the charts. You don't have to be glued to the computer. It's something very unhealthy for a trader. Okay, Michael. John Estama. on the GBP USD 50 minutes chart, it looks like a double top is forming. Yes, I think so. I think so too, because we have here the signal for sell. Also, it was confirmed by MACD. I think that if we have that double top, we just have to wait to be confirmed here. But actually, I think that based on 4-hour chart, here we are prepared to see the downtrend. So that double top on 15 minutes chart can be a good start for one reverse of the pair. No, I didn't saw that candle chart technique. I was reading about different analysis on candles, and also I'm making some research about those types, about those patterns of the candles. But if you can send me one link or so, will be nice. Thank you. Okay, so thank you all for that you was here with me. I hope that in the future you will know to follow the news, and probably you will understand what is about the fundamental news and so on. And I hope that we will meet again in the next webinar. In the next webinar, we will go through the rules of the system, and I will give you some more example of trades. So I'm waiting for you in the next webinar. It will be not so boring like this one. Actually, with those last two webinars about fundamentals. Okay. Okay, thank you and goodbye.